Michael Clark was a typical 17-year-old high school student, balancing classes, friends, and his hopes for the future. With prom night just around the corner, excitement buzzed through the halls of his school. Everyone was talking about what they would wear, dreaming of dancing under the stars. Michael wanted to join in on the fun, but he faced a big problem. He couldn't afford a tuxedo like many of his classmates. While his friends planned their outfits and shared ideas about corsages and hairdos, Michael felt a knot in his stomach. His family had been struggling financially, and buying a fancy tux was out of the question. He dreamed of looking sharp and dancing with confidence, but those dreams felt distant. Instead of joining in on the excitement, Michael often found himself on the sidelines, feeling a mix of excitement and sadness. One day, as he walked home from school, he heard the news that Elvis Presley was coming to town for a concert. Elvis was more than just a singer. He was a superstar who brought joy to many with his music. Michael couldn't believe it. He knew he had to go, not only to see Elvis but also to escape from his worries about prom. He saved up just enough money for a ticket and decided to wait outside the concert venue, hoping to catch a glimpse of the legend. As he stood there among the crowd, dressed in his everyday clothes, Michael felt an odd mix of hope and disappointment. He looked down at his shoes, wishing he could be like everyone else who seemed so put together. Little did he know that this night would change everything for him, setting him on a path to something truly special. The night of the concert arrived, and the excitement in the air was almost electric. Michael stood outside the concert venue, his heart racing as he took in the vibrant atmosphere surrounding him. Colorful lights danced across the billboards and sparkling decorations adorned the entrance, making everything feel magical. The sound of music could be heard even from a distance, pulsating through the air and drawing fans closer to the main event. People milled about in their flashy outfits and bright accessories, smiling and chatting eagerly about their favorite Elvis songs. It was as if the whole town had come alive for this special occasion. Michael watched with wide eyes as fans waved posters and wore shirts with Elvis's face on them. Groups of friends laughed together, sharing snacks and stories while waiting for the doors to open. He felt a slight twinge of envy but also a spark of hope. Tonight he would be part of something special. As he stood in line, anticipation bubbled within him. Michael imagined what it would be like to see Elvis on stage, his iconic moves, his charming smile, and that unforgettable voice that made everyone swoon. Even though he didn't have a shiny tux like many others, the thought of witnessing a true legend filled him with joy. He longed for just a glimpse of Elvis to fill his heart with inspiration. Before he knew it, the crowd erupted into cheers as the lights dimmed inside the venue, signaling that it was almost showtime. As people rushed forward to find their seats, Michael caught himself smiling widely despite his worries about prom. In that moment, standing among fellow fans united by their love for music, he felt hopeful that something wonderful awaited him tonight, a moment that would change everything. As Michael stood outside the concert venue, his heart raced with anticipation, but a shadow of disappointment lingered in his mind. While the atmosphere buzzed with excitement, he couldn't shake off the feeling of being out of place. Around him, fans donned their finest clothing, sparkling dresses and sharp suits that shimmered under the bright lights. They smiled and laughed, sharing their hopes of catching a glimpse of Elvis, while Michael felt more like an outsider. He glanced down at his plain shirt and jeans, feeling a sense of longing for something more. It wasn't just about wanting to fit in, it was about how much he wanted to feel special, even for just one night. The laughter and chatter of those dressed to impress only heightened his awareness of what he lacked: a nice tuxedo to wear to prom or to impress friends. Instead of joining in on the fun, he found himself feeling small and insecure. Michael watched as groups of friends posed for pictures together, each shot radiating joy and confidence. He couldn't help but think about how he would be left out when prom came around. His friends had been busy planning every detail, while he felt stuck at home worrying about money. A knot formed in his stomach as he imagined arriving at prom without a tux, everyone else dancing away while he simply stood at the edge. But then a wave of determination washed over him. This concert could be different. He could still experience something amazing tonight. Closing his eyes for a moment, he took a deep breath and pushed those feelings aside. He reminded himself that this was Elvis Presley, one chance to see a legend perform live, and that was worth holding on to tightly, even if it meant feeling like an outsider for a little while longer. As the concert buzzed with energy and excitement, the crowd pressed closer, eager to catch a glimpse of Elvis. Michael stood among them, trying to shake off his feelings of inadequacy. Suddenly, he felt a shift in the atmosphere as a spotlight illuminated the stage. Fans erupted into cheers, jostling for position. In that moment, Michael glanced up, hoping to see Elvis step onto the stage. But it wasn't the stage that captured Elvis's attention, it was Michael himself. From across the bustling crowd, Elvis noticed the young man standing there with downcast eyes and a plain outfit that set him apart from everyone else. The vibrant lights danced around him, but Michael seemed lost in his own world of thoughts and worries. Elvis's gaze softened as he registered the look of longing on Michael's face. In a split second, Elvis made his way through the throng of fans, moving closer to where Michael stood. The crowd parted like waves in the ocean, allowing him to approach with an ease that felt almost magical. As he reached Michael, the energy shifted again. It was as if the whole world had faded away, leaving just the two of them in that moment. "Hey there, buddy!" Elvis exclaimed with his signature charm. "What's got you looking so glum?" His voice was warm and inviting, instantly making Michael feel a connection he had never expected. Taken by surprise, Michael could hardly find words to respond. Elvis took a moment to look at him, really look at him. He recognized the hope mingled with sadness in Michael's eyes and knew he wanted to do something special. With a smile, he removed his dazzling disco-themed sequin jacket and handed it to Michael with a wink. "Now you're ready," he said, bridging the gap between their worlds in one simple act of kindness. With a warm smile lighting up his face, Elvis took a moment to assess Michael's expression. He could see that the young man longed for something more, a way to belong, a way to shine. Without hesitation, Elvis reached for his glittering disco-themed jacket. The sequins glimmered under the bright stage lights, reflecting the excitement and energy of the concert. As he slipped the jacket off, Elvis couldn't help but feel that this simple act could make a significant difference in someone's life. He approached Michael, holding the dazzling garment in his hands. The fabric shimmered with every movement, capturing the gaze of both Michael and the surrounding fans. For a second, the world around them faded away as all eyes focused on this extraordinary moment. "Here you go!" Elvis exclaimed, his voice filled with warmth. He handed the jacket to Michael, who was taken aback by the gesture. It felt surreal. This legendary performer was giving him something so personal and special. "Now you're ready," Elvis added with a wink, as if he were bestowing not just a jacket but also confidence and encouragement. Michael's heart raced as he accepted the gift, feeling the weight of the sequin jacket in his hands. It was an emblem of kindness and generosity from someone he admired deeply. As he put it on, he felt an immediate change wash over him. The sequins sparkled with every movement, making him feel vibrant and alive. In that moment, Michael transformed from a boy overwhelmed by feelings of inadequacy into someone who felt worthy and seen. The jacket represented not just a connection to Elvis but also the belief that dreams could come true, if even for one night. As the crowd cheered and music filled the air, Michael realized that he was indeed ready for something spectacular that night. As Michael stood there, the sequin jacket resting in his hands, he felt a rush of emotions flood through him: shock, joy, and disbelief all rolled into one. The vibrant fabric sparkled under the concert lights, and for a moment, he could hardly comprehend what had just happened. Elvis Presley, the very icon he admired, had chosen him for something so special. It felt surreal, like a scene from a dream. Overwhelmed with excitement, Michael slipped the jacket over his shoulders. The cool sequins brushed against his skin like a warm embrace. As he looked down at himself, he saw a transformation happening right before his eyes. Suddenly, he wasn't just another kid feeling out of place, he felt like someone who belonged. Each glimmer of the sequins reflected not only light but also the newfound confidence blooming inside him. With every cheer from the crowd echoing in his ears, Michael's heart soared. He glanced around to see other fans staring at him in awe. It was as if he had stepped into the spotlight alongside Elvis himself. A smile broke across his face, radiating joy that chased away any lingering feelings of inadequacy. This jacket was more than fabric. It was a symbol of kindness that changed everything for him. As he made his way back through the gathering crowd, Michael envisioned himself wearing this jacket at prom, the talk of the school and the center of attention. His worries about not having a tuxedo faded away. Instead, he could picture dancing confidently with friends, swirling in a sea of sequins and laughter. Tonight was no longer just about seeing Elvis. It was about embracing who he was and celebrating that moment. With the jacket on his shoulders and hope in his heart, Michael knew that prom would be an unforgettable experience after all, one filled with sparkle, joy, and memories to cherish forever. Prom night had finally arrived, and Michael stood in front of the mirror, his heart racing with excitement. He carefully put on the dazzling sequin jacket that Elvis had gifted him, feeling its vibrant energy wrap around him like a warm hug. The jacket sparkled under the soft glow of his bedroom light, each sequin reflecting dreams and memories from that unforgettable concert night. Michael couldn't help but smile at his reflection. He looked different, confident, ready to take on the world. As he stepped outside, the evening air was filled with anticipation. The venue was bustling with laughter, music, and chatter as students made their way to celebrate. Holding his head high, Michael walked towards the entrance, feeling like a star himself in the jacket that had once belonged to Elvis Presley. All eyes turned his way, and he could hear whispers of surprise and admiration from fellow students as he approached. The moment he entered the venue, he felt an electric pulse of energy. Colorful lights danced across the room, and couples were already swaying to the music. Michael took a deep breath, soaking in the atmosphere of joy and celebration. Gone were his worries about fitting in or being underdressed. In this moment, he felt like he belonged. Proudly wearing Elvis's jacket gave him an aura of confidence as he moved through the crowd. Friends greeted him with smiles and compliments, their eyes lighting up at the sight of his outfit. He felt a surge of happiness as they exclaimed how incredible he looked, urging him to join them on the dance floor. As he began to dance, Michael twirled and spun, feeling liberated and free. The sequins caught the light with every movement, making him feel like he was gliding across the floor. This night was no longer just a prom. It was a celebration of who he was and where he had come from, a moment that would be remembered for years to come. As Michael stepped onto the dance floor, the lively atmosphere of prom wrapped around him like a vibrant blanket. Immediately, he felt the energy shift as a few students turned to see who had entered. The moment they spotted him in Elvis's sequin jacket, their expressions transformed from casual chatter to wide-eyed admiration. Whispered words of surprise floated through the air, punctuated by playful nudges and excited murmurs. "Did you see what he's wearing?" one girl exclaimed, nudging her friend as she pointed at Michael. "That jacket is amazing!" Others chimed in, their intrigued faces lighting up with curiosity and excitement. Michael, once the quiet boy on the sidelines, was now at the center of attention, and he relished every moment of it. Boys and girls alike gathered around him, eager to compliment the unique choice of attire. "You look incredible!" a classmate shouted over the music, and others quickly followed suit with cheers and applause. Michael felt the warmth of their smiles and couldn't help but bask in the joy of this newfound recognition. It was as if he had transformed from a shy wallflower into a star, shining bright under the colorful lights that danced overhead. As he moved through the crowd, people continued to approach him, asking where he got the stunning jacket and how it felt to wear something so special. Michael found himself sharing stories about Elvis and how he came into possession of the jacket, a connection that only deepened his bond with his peers. Feeling buoyed by their enthusiasm, he began to dance, swirling and twirling as the sequins caught the light with every movement. Laughter erupted around him, and soon others joined in, forming a circle as they cheered him on. For that night, Michael wasn't just another student, he was the life of the party. He embraced this moment fully, grateful for the kindness that had changed his life. It was a night he would treasure forever. As the music pulsed through the air, Michael felt a surge of energy that inspired him to dance with abandon. He twirled and swayed under the flickering lights, the sequins on his jacket shimmering like stars. Friends gathered around him, their smiles wide and infectious as they urged him on, cheering and laughing at his moves. It was a moment of pure joy. The world outside the venue faded away, leaving only the vibrant atmosphere of celebration. With each beat, Michael let go of any remaining insecurities. He started throwing playful dance moves that echoed the styles of Elvis himself, shimmies and spins that made everyone burst into laughter. His friends joined in, forming a circle where they danced together, their camaraderie shining brighter than the colorful lights above. "Look at him go!" someone shouted, while another friend called out, "You're rocking it, Michael!" The encouragement fueled his enthusiasm, and he responded with an exaggerated look of surprise, pretending to be shy before launching back into his lively dance routine. The night continued in a whirlwind of laughs and shared stories. At one point, a group of girls organized a mini-themed dance-off, inviting Michael to take center stage. With excitement bubbling inside him, he twirled dramatically before breaking into an energetic jig that drew cheers from all around. He felt like he was floating on cloud nine, connected to everyone by this shared experience. As he caught glimpses of his friends' joyful faces and heard their carefree laughter mixing with the music, Michael felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. This was more than just prom. It was a reaffirmation of who he had become, a boy transformed by kindness and acceptance. That night would be forever etched in his memory, not just for dancing in Elvis's jacket but for embracing the friendship and love around him. Each move he made added another layer to this unforgettable evening, one that would be celebrated for years to come in stories and laughter among friends. As the night came to a close, Michael basked in the afterglow of a magical prom. The laughter and music faded into the background as he stood with friends, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude for everything that had unfolded. His experience had transformed him not just for the evening but for the future ahead. He had stepped onto the dance floor that night as a shy boy filled with insecurities and left it as someone who embraced joy and acceptance. One of his friends pulled out a phone and began snapping pictures, capturing moments of pure bliss. Michael twirling in the sequin jacket, laughter exchanged with friends, and spontaneous dance moves that lit up the night. Each click of the camera preserved memories that would last long after the music ended. In that moment, Michael realized that these photographs were more than just snapshots. They were tangible reminders of how far he had come. When one particular photo was taken, Michael mid-spin, jacket sparkling brilliantly, the world around him blurred out, leaving only his infectious smile and the joy reflected in his friends' faces. This image would become a cherished family treasure, showcasing not only a memorable prom night but also symbolizing transformation, kindness, and friendship. As he reflected on all that had happened, Michael understood that this was more than just about wearing a stunning jacket. It was about embracing who he was and celebrating the connections he had formed. The confidence gained that night would guide him in future challenges, reminding him that kindness has the power to change lives. In years to come, when Michael looked back at that photo, he wouldn't just see himself dancing in Elvis's jacket. He would remember a night filled with laughter and love, a shining moment in which he discovered his true self amidst a sea of friendships. That memory would forever serve as a beacon of inspiration for him to embrace every opportunity life presented.